Hey everybody, Drew here for Drew That Games and the Drew That Games podcast here on YouTube.com. Welcome to episode number 15. Joining me on Xbox Live via party chat, my younger brother Desert Nord. Hey bro.
Hey there.
On today's episode, we're going to be talking about, well, I don't really want to do it, but it's still something that needs to be talked about. Evidently, all console manufacturers are affected by the Comos or the C-bomb to one degree or another, that being PlayStation, Xbox, and as well as Nintendo. Also, games with gold for May 2021 have been announced, as well as the PlayStation Plus games for May. We'll talk about that and some rumors about Starfield, and if we get through all of that a little too quickly, I'm thinking about talking about some Elder Scrolls lore with you.
Sure.
Sound good?
Yep.
And then basically, at that point, probably ranting about the High Elves and the Thalmor at that point.
It's always a classic.
Yeah. So with that being said, this probably shouldn't surprise anyone who knows a thing or two about gaming and that kind of thing, and how consoles work. But every console largely is connected to the internet now, to one degree or another. So it should be no surprise that if the internet is no longer functional for that system, you're largely going to be cut out from doing pretty much anything with them anymore.
Yeah.
And that's really what the C-bomb basically is that internal clock. If it can't ask what time it is to, like, Nintendo Switch Online, Xbox Live, PlayStation Network, it largely isn't going to do anything other than be a paperweight for the most part.
Yep. Yeah, it's what we call bricking.
Yeah.
I mean, you might as well just take your system and throw it out the window.
Which means that this basically has to be asked, can anything be done to, like...
Well, that would have to be a reprogramming of the manufacturer, wouldn't it?
Otherwise, we're not sure what to make of it, or what could be done, or if anything could be done, but it is what it is, and things are the way they are, so. Other than that, I think we should probably just move on, because there isn't much more to say here, because we don't know what to say.
Yeah.
So Games with Gold for May of 2021 have finally been announced. For Xbox One, we're getting Armello from the 1st to the 31st. For Xbox One, also Dungeon 3 from May 16th to June 15th. Lego Batman the video game from the 1st to the 15th of May. And Tropico 4 from the 16th to the 31st of May as well. Now, as another Game Pass Ultimate sub, which means that you have access to Xbox Live and therefore access to Games with Gold, your thoughts on an actual consumer of these things now, Nord?
Oh, yeah. Well, I mean, it's all good. The more they do, the better. I mean, variety, spice of life.
Yeah, because Armello is evidently like a traditional tabletop RPG, but in video game form.
Sure, yeah.
Dungeon Siege 3, not entirely sure, other than like your traditional like top-down dungeon thing.
See, that was the beauty of the old gaming industry. The old gaming industry was putting out things that people didn't know they wanted. And people would say, oh, wow, that looks cool. I'm going to play that. And then they'd find out it was great. You know, like, you didn't go into the store going, oh, I know what's good. I'm going to only get what's good. I know what's bad. Like, no, there was nothing bad. It was just taste. Yeah. So that's good when they do that.
So, what are your thoughts on the offerings for games with gold across the board at this point? For me,
Well, it's, for my personal opinion, it's kind of in the middle.
not bad, not good. Just
Yeah, it's not a bad month, but
it's
it's
just
not
it's
the
just
best
there.
ever.
Yeah. With that being said, on the other side of that coin, PlayStation Plus's games for May of this year. For PS4, we're getting Battlefield 5, which a lot has been said since launch of that and everything. Nord?
Yep. Probably a lot of people excited for that one.
Well, as far as a free game, yeah, probably people that haven't played it are probably just gonna go, well, let's just see. And then people that have bought and played it and know that it's not any good are not gonna waste their time if they have both systems like I do. Which means that
Yep.
Battlefield 5 is a game that I'm not gonna bother with for PlayStation Plus Wednesday then. Uh, for May. Also for PS4, we got Stranded Deep, which I am actually interested in playing because when I saw the screenshot for this, at first I was thinking that did they get Man Eater for PlayStation Plus at first because I saw the image of the shark at first, but it's actually Stranded Deep and and not Man Eater like I was originally thinking. And also for PS5 only, if you actually have one, Wreckfest.
Oh, yeah.
Are you familiar with it?
I've seen game footage from other streamers.
Okay. What is Wreckfest then?
Well, to my knowledge, it's a demolition derby type game.
Okay. So, with that being said, those are the three. Well, if you're a PS4 owner, those are the two games on offer for the month of May. If you're a PS5 owner, those are the three games.
Yeah, yeah, bro. Wreckfest is subtitled "Drive Hard, Die Last." You get the point.
Okay, yeah. So, between Games with Gold and PlayStation Plus,
It looks like fun, actually. Kind of reminds me of Flat Out.
I think you and I are probably both going to be in agreement that Games with Gold is having the better month for the month of May here in 2021 at this point,
Sure,
right?
and bro, I should also add 94% of users liked the game.
For which game?
Wreckfest.
Well, it's too bad nobody's going to be playing it because no one really has a PS5
Yeah, yeah, it's too bad.
at that point.
Made by THQ's Nordic division.
That makes me think I should look into seeing if it's actually available for PS4 or not, and if it is,
Yeah.
then it will be like just like I think it was last month when they gave away Oddworld Soulstorm for PS5 owners only. There is a PS4 version of that game, so
Yeah. The initial release date on Wreckfest was January 14th of 2014.
that was
It
the
says it's available for Windows, PS4, or Xbox One, and PlayStation 5.
so it's available for PlayStation 1.
No, Xbox One. I didn't mean PlayStation 4, PlayStation 5, and Xbox One. I didn't mean PlayStation 1.
Oh,
Yeah.
I I I misspoke. Never mind.
Yes, and it is described as pretty much like flat out sequel.
Okay, so since I have the Xbox up, let's just go take a look and see how much that actually is on Xbox then.
Yeah.
Right now here on the podcast. So you and I, like I was saying, I think are both in agreement that Angel Gold is the better offer for May at this point, correct?
Yeah.
Okay, so. ah, as you guys can see, well, I don't know if you can see in the camera right there, but there's a little square on the standard version of Wreckfest on Xbox that says something very in particular. It says Game Pass,
Ah, yes, cool.
which means Wreckfest is downloadable right now in Xbox Game Pass.
Yes, that
So,
seems like a good idea, doesn't it?
and otherwise, the complete version is like, uh, well, it's currently on sale if you have Game Pass for $23.99. Otherwise, it's $30 for the complete edition then.
Yeah.
So, well, I guess I'm going to be playing Wreckfest on Xbox now. A PlayStation Plus
Yeah,
title.
I think it's probably a pretty fun-looking game.
So, well,
I mean, we love Flat Out. I love Flat Out forever. I mean, that game was one of the best games ever made, if you ask me.
dare I try to do a PlayStation Plus Wednesday with the Xbox One version then?
Maybe.
Just to piss off the PlayStation fanboys out there.
Yeah.
But let's see how many gigabytes it is. 18.66 gigabytes for Wreckfest on Xbox One.
Not terrible.
That's actually pretty good. So,
Yeah.
there you go, folks. Breaking news on here. PS5 PlayStation Plus title is, in fact, in Xbox Game Pass right now. So, you don't have to wait till May. You can play Wreckfest on Xbox One right now.
Yep.
So, there you go, folks. So, with that being said, other Xbox news, considering they own the rights to it at this point then, there are more rumors about Starfield coming out in 2021. Evidently, the copyright of Starfield has the actual year in it of 2021. So, Nord, what do you make of this?
Well, you'd like to think it's because they're going to release it this year.
Yeah, which that's like almost the most concrete thing that we've gotten other than an official announcement of a release date for it this year. That's as close to an official announcement as I think we've gotten so far. And other than that, there are still rumors of Microsoft doing like something for E3 in June for that digital streaming thing that E3 is supposed to be this year. And that Bethesda is supposed to do something too for it. So, and if that's the case,
Yep.
it has to be about Starfield then, because we've been waiting for any information since they initially announced Starfield back in 2018 at E3.
Yep.
So 18, 19, 20, 21. It's been like 3 years since that announcement. It's time to break the silence, Bethesda.
Yeah. Yeah, it would be, wouldn't it?
And if other reports are correct, then the claim that Starfield has been in from pre-production to like full production or ready to release for give or take about 5 years now, that's about the time frame of a Bethesda game that games usually go through. Is about 5 years from beginning to end of development.
Yep.
So
Yeah, so it'd be really nice if they would finally release it.
Yeah, so therefore, my top anticipated game for this year, considering this information now, is in fact Starfield.
Yep.
Because I don't actually know if like the next God of War is coming out this year or not, if Horizon Forbidden West actually still is coming this year or not. Now we have almost concrete evidence that Starfield likely is coming this year at this point.
Yep. Well, and that would be like hopefully game of the year. We'll see. It's a candidate.
Well, if it's like Fallout and Elder Scrolls in space, then it likely could be,
Yep.
assuming that it's not as buggy as those games at launch. But it is Bethesda, so it probably will be.
Yeah. Well,
But even with those bugs that Skyrim had, it's still arguably my favorite game of all time at this point.
oh yeah. Yeah.
Now I'm not
Understandable.
saying nor will I ever say it's the best game of all time. I'm just saying it's my favorite of all time.
Yeah.
Arguably the best game of all time. You could probably make a case for Resident Evil 2 at this point.
Hmm. There's quite a few games you could make a case for.
Yeah, but it is what it is. So that's all I got scripted in to talk about, and we're sitting only at 16 minutes. So how about we just get into talking about Elder Scrolls lore at this point? Since we're
Yep.
both on an Elder Scrolls kick lately with Elder Scrolls Online, and for me with Skyrim on PC lately.
Oh yeah.
So, a video has recently come to my attention from Fudge Muppet, at least I think it was Fudge Muppet, talking about the uh, something nights in which Maester and Secunda disappeared from the night sky.
Yeah.
Do you remember hearing about this thing in the Elder Scrolls lore?
There was a tiny bit about it.
Yeah, so evidently what supposedly happened was Maester and Secunda randomly disappeared from the night sky, and if you know anything about the Khajiit, their births are solely dependent on the phases of the moons.
Uh huh.
So when they disappeared, it threw basically things into chaos. So according to lore from Khajiit lore, Khajiit born under no moons are effectively considered mains, as in inherent leaders of the Khajiit people.
Yep.
However, if more than one main exists at any one time, any further mains that exist will not be acknowledged to their destiny of being the leader of their people. They're just extra mains, if you will.
Uh huh.
In other words, they're basically like super soldiers, kind of thing.
Yep. Kind of like Dragon Ball.
Kinda, except for the moons were gone for like 2 years.
Yeah. So that's a lot.
Yeah, so that's a lot of Destiny-less mains running around. Now,
Yeah. It's like a whole generation basically.
yeah, so that it's been well documented that the Thalmor take credit for bringing them back.
Yeah.
Just like they took credit for ending the Oblivion Crisis, which we know was completely full of shit.
You
And
know, taking credit for ending the Oblivion Crisis is an especially stupid thing for any of them to be trying to claim.
but yet they rose to power because of it in the
I know.
in the Somerset Isles. And the only reason,
They're just like mocking the fact that history is full of lies.
yeah, so in claiming this for the Khajiit, obviously the Khajiit were thankful that they brought them back, and were essentially assimilated into the second or third or however many of them of the Elmeri Dominion. That being of the Dominion of Somerset, High Elves, Bayland Wood, the Wood Elves, and elsewhere the Khajiit.
Yep.
And with all of those destinyless mains running around. The Thalmor got their super soldiers that they wanted, so if they
Yeah, they did.
so if they were responsible for the moons going away, that would make sense, and that would sound a lot like Hollywood and the elite class creating chaos to save us from type of situation.
Uh-huh.
So in other words, the Thalmor are basically Hollywood then. Of the Elder Scrolls universe. Would you disagree?
No, I wouldn't disagree with that. That's pretty much accurate.
And when this came to my attention, first of all, the half Nord, half Breton that I am, half of me went, well, this doesn't surprise me in all of this. And then the Nord halfers going, well, they were already assholes to begin with, so in the case of the in the case of the Thalmor, not necessarily high elves in general, but just the faction of the Thalmor that rule over the Somerset Isles. Anything in Elder Scrolls lore that you want to talk about, Nord?
Yeah, well, specifically the game, ESO,
Yeah.
there's an entire selection of lore books, and I'm kind of at the brink of getting them all in the first area here. But yeah, the one thing I will say about the lore is that there is so much of it. And one thing that's always interested me is the story of the origin of the Nords, right? You there, bro? Can you hear me?
Yeah, I'm here. I was
Okay.
just wondering about something because I'm only hearing you from the TV speakers, not from the headset whatsoever.
Huh. Well, maybe your audio settings really need to be adjusted.
Either way, so if I'm not hearing you from the headset, then I don't need it over my ear then.
Yeah.
But it is what it is. You were saying?
Well, I was just saying the dragon origins of the Nords. Some of them are literally descendants of dragons.
Yeah.
That's always been fascinating. It's kind of like a bit kind of puts the Nords in almost like an animal, more of an animal status than in a human status, despite the fact that they resemble humans completely.
I wonder if that book in ESO would have been written by someone from the Thalmor faction then.
Yeah, well, I mean, there is one book in particular in the game. Let me see if I can find while I'm looking at it here. But yeah, it's called I'm in a loading screen at the moment.
Yeah.
A long loading screen, apparently. Okay, finally. Yeah, varieties of faith, the Nords. And let's see here. It talks about the eight divines. And it talks about the fact that their descendancy in all of their gods essentially lead back to dragons,
All right.
including, of course, Alduin. Yeah, it's basically a summary of Nordic gods.
All right. So elves think they know better about about the Nordic pantheon of gods than the Nords, huh?
I suppose they think they do.
Well, they clearly don't.
Yeah, see, the daughters of Cain taught the first Nords the use of the Thum.
Mm-hmm. We do know that to
Cain
be
was,
the case.
yeah, Cain was known as Nord goddess of the storm.
Yeah.
So it's kind of weird to think of it, but maybe the first Nords weren't descendants of dragons, but they became related to dragons through mingling.
Hmm.
I mean, just because it had to be. Otherwise, why would there be anyone who was with quote unquote dragon blood running through their veins?
Yeah.
Must be a descendancy. It's funny to think though that a Nord might be like, yeah, my great uncle is Salakner, you
Hmm. Hmm.
know. Yeah, it's just a
So
funny thought.
yeah. So we might as well talk about this on camera in regards to the Civil War in Skyrim.
Yeah.
Now, your stance on, well, I know what people are going to say, that none of this is real. This is all fictitious. It's from the Elder Scrolls universe. Yes, it is. But we'd
Sure, but
rather,
that's why we kind of gave him a disclaimer that this is lore.
yeah, it is lore from the universe of the Elder Scrolls
If a
series.
person's annoyed by lore, then
And if we are talking
listen.
about this like it's real life, that's because we're choosing to live in this universe for just a little bit to try to escape the shitty one that we actually live in real life here.
Yeah.
So take that for what it's worth, guys. You've been warned, so to speak.
Yeah.
So with that said, we both know that Ulfric Stormcloak murdered High King Torix, heading up the civil war in Skyrim between the Empire and the Stormcloak Rebellion.
Yep.
And it being over the White Gold Concordat largely over Talos worship. Talos being the hero god of mankind, of Nords, and of the Imperials.
Yep.
And the reason that it was outlawed in the White Gold Concordat, that was to try to put an end to the war with the Aldmeri Dominion, or what's known as the Great War.
Uh-huh.
But what I don't think a lot of people know in Elder Scrolls lore is how the High Elves, or the Thalmor, see the Great War. They actually refer to it as the First Great War with the Empire, which means that
Yeah.
they believe there's another one coming, and that says to me that they intend to instigate another one. Which, if you look at the storyline in Skyrim, you can already see that they're basically doing just that. because there's been speculation to why what's her name, Ellenwyn, was present with General Tellius as your main character was hauled into Helgen at the very start of the game. The speculation is that she's trying to negotiate for the release of the Stormcloak so that the war can continue to weaken the Empire. Which then would say to me that the war is clearly not over, despite the White Gold Concordat being in place.
Yeah, but which kind of throws the entire intention of it under the bus.
Yeah, so with that being said, all of that is why that I side with the Imperials.
Yeah.
What side do you agree with the Civil War? Not that it changes anything.
Well, I was always kind of nativist about the Nords.
Yeah, so so with the Stormcloaks. Well,
I kind of wish that everybody who had kind of come into Skyrim and started this crap would go away.
But
like that shoot joke,
Yeah.
In this case, the Aldernary, especially.
Yeah. But if we can play up to the narrative of our characters' backstories, your Nord / half Breton, because we are biological siblings, was actually born in Cyrodiil.
Yeah.
Like my character Drew Heartfire was actually born in Morrowind, but I'm a half Nord, half Breton though, just the same. Only because our grandma on our mom's side was an Imperial and our grandfather was a Dark Elf.
Yep.
So, and then on our dad's side, our dad was pureblood Nord, as were his parents. So, so that's why we have some Elven blood, but we are also Nords at the same time. Hence the Breton and the Nord thing. Because usually in Elder Scrolls lore, when an elf and a human, regardless if it's a Nord or an Imperial, you usually get the Breton race out of such unions. So a mixed race of Elven and human blood usually leads to a Breton in Elder Scrolls lore. So
yeah, you'd think.
Yeah. So hence that's why Drew Heartfire, or my character, usually studies a lot of magic, but also is well versed with conventional weapons like bows and swords at the same time. And your character obviously just prefers the Nordic ways.
Oh yeah.
But it is what it is. So, and actually, with you siding with the Imperials and me with with you with the Stormcloaks and with me with the Imperials, that leans credence to the one saying from the Civil War storyline: "Brother fights brother."
Uh-huh.
In this case, yeah. So, anything you want to also say about the storyline of Skyrim and whatnot?
Well, it's kind of unfortunate in a sense, but it, not every story has a clean ending, as you say. But
yeah,
I lost a lot of good characters in the storyline, and all you really got out of it was, well, we killed Elven. Oh boy.
Yeah. And there has been
we're supposed to be kind of akin to dragons, not diametrically opposed. Like the blades types.
Yeah.
That's kind of not the way the Nords would think about it.
Yeah. And speaking of blades, that also was another thought that was brought up in a video that I saw a while back. Considering that the main character of Skyrim are characters or whatever, but not necessarily my character, because my character is actually a mage slash warrior, but due to mods, he's actually a guard for the Whiterun City Guard. So,
Yeah.
meanwhile, your character is actually the Dragonborn.
Uh-huh.
So, uh, with that said, Dragonborn, obviously, Tiber Septim was Dragonborn. He became the Emperor of Tamriel.
Yep.
So the speculation is that do we think that the last Dragonborn would actually become Emperor of something because of their dragon blood?
Well, it turns out it's possible, eh?
Well, the history does dictate it, but in this one more video, I can't remember who did it, suggested that that's not necessarily a given, that would actually happen.
Well, I don't see what their point is because it did happen. So,
Well, in the case of Tiber
unless he's trying to
Septim,
argue that, well, they didn't know that Tiber Septim was Dragonborn. That's a whole nother argument.
well, first of all, everybody knew that.
Yeah. So what are they trying to say?
That
Dragon can't be emperor even though one was.
Well, considering that in Skyrim, the Dragonborn can become the Listener of the Dark Brotherhood, the Harbinger of the Companions, the Master of the Thieves Guild,
Yeah.
is basically the argument of, well, they didn't necessarily become the Emperor, they could have become all these other things instead, type of thing.
Well, I don't know. As far as can goes, the phrase can,
Yeah.
yeah, they can.
So, let's just, you and I at least, establish
Even if your character in that game didn't become an emperor of Skyrim
So at this point,
or Tamriel.
yeah, I think at this point you and I are probably better off just establishing like a Druidat game / Desert Nord Elder Scrolls canon timeline for our characters at the very least. Do you think that's a good idea?
Yeah. No, sure, I guess.
So with that said, Drew Heartfire, i.e. me or my character, if you will, is half Nord, half Breton, who's a battle mage of sorts who lives in a manor just across the border in the Pale, but whom is a member of the Whiterun City Guard. So I'm just another citizen of Skyrim. However, Desert Nord, if you will, is actually the Dragonborn.
Yeah.
So would that mean that I actually have the dragon blood or no in this case?
Maybe.
Not necessarily, right?
One of the same parents. So,
Yeah, but
kind of funny how that works if it's not.
Yeah, but my character doesn't go around shouting. He just goes around doing his own thing. Meanwhile, you're the one absorbing dragon souls, which would lean credence to the dragon blood as a divine gift, and
okay, maybe,
and not necessarily just inherited automatically by birthright.
Yeah, well, I suppose that could be how it works.
Yeah, so therefore, if our father wasn't dragonborn, but you are, that means that I probably wouldn't necessarily be dragonborn too. Then. that it would just be you,
Yeah.
which
Uh-huh.
I think will be the canon case for our Elder Scrolls universe then. So with that being said, since this is our canon Elder Scrolls universe, the Druidic Games Elder Scrolls canon, if you will, involving Skyrim at least,
Yeah.
I think it is safe to say that Desert Nord is the emperor of Skyrim then.
Well, it'd be cool if it was. But you know.
And that I likelihood would eventually leave the duties of being a Whiterun guard to be like one of your generals and whatnot.
Yeah.
In all likelihood then. So then Drew Heartfire would be a general in the Empire of Skyrim, I guess we could call it.
Yeah.
Or probably call it the Heartfire Empire.
Sure.
At that point. So anything else that we can think of that would be fun to talk about Elder Scrolls, or should we probably?
Yeah. Well, we just cut it off.
All right. So, PlayStation Plus, Games with Gold, yeah. Wreckfest is available in Xbox Game Pass, which it is a PlayStation Plus title only for, only for the PS5. But considering that's an Xbox Game Pass, if you subscribe to Game Pass Ultimate or Xbox Game Pass in general, then fuck PlayStation Plus at that point.
Yeah.
And furthermore, fuck the PS5 at that point. Which it's easy to say because you can't get one anywhere.
Indeed.
So,
Can't get it anywhere.
but like I said, you can play Wreckfest on Game Pass right now. So, and it's got just under 2 hours left to install. It's sitting at 4.17 gigabytes installed. Currently up to 18.66. So it's at 22% right now. Which means, fuck it. Once we get into May, the first May, or the first May in May, yeah, right.
Yeah, there's more than one May in May. Oh, God.
The first Wednesday in May is what I was trying to say. Fuck it, I will play Wreckfest on Xbox One for PlayStation Plus Wednesday. Fuck it, I'll just do it. And comments be damned at that point.
Yep.
However, the first Friday, I will be playing one of the Games with Gold games for May as well. Is there anything else worth playing from PlayStation Plus then? Other than probably Wreckfest. Stranded Deep will be hopefully the following Wednesday. And I'm going to ignore Battlefield 5 at this point because I've already played like some of it on Xbox and was not impressed at all. Otherwise,
Yep.
Let's see. Lego Batman is only from the 1st to the 15th, so the first game for Games with Gold on the first Friday of May will actually be the Lego Batman game. So the first Wednesday is going to be Wreckfest for PlayStation Plus Wednesday, even though it's going to be on Xbox from Game Pass. That's going to be our little secret, guys.
Yeah.
And that Friday will also be Lego Batman for Free Play Friday for the Games with Gold games. So, yeah. Otherwise, what are you going to be up to after this?
Nope, I'm going to be playing ESO.
Depending on what time, it's almost 2 o'clock, so in about an hour or so, a stream starts that I'm going to be watching, and that's on the YouTube channel of Parts of Unknown. Quizlemania is today, so I'll be watching that at about 3 or so in the afternoon, depending on when they actually start it. Beyond that, I'm probably just going to play Skyrim on PC for about an hour or so. Or should I say, once this gets done uploaded, then we'll see where things are at that point. What have you been playing lately? We were supposed to do this at the start, and I forgot. So,
yeah, well, I have been playing Elder Scrolls Online lately, as you well know.
Yeah. For me, it's been largely...
It's kind of been eating up most of my time, yeah.
Yeah, for me, it's been ESO with him and Skyrim on Steam. Largely so. But as you guys well know, coming up soon, I will be playing Wreckfest, like I said, as well as Lego Batman coming up, so... Oh, hopefully today or tomorrow I'll be doing an unboxing of Nier Automata for Xbox One, so hopefully I'll be playing that soon too.
Yep.
Because that's supposed to be the complete edition for Xbox One / Series X, so that's supposed to come today / tomorrow, potentially. Even though it was originally scheduled to come last week, but it is what it is. And then Pokemon Snap is supposed to come out in about a week or two now.
Yep, it'll be interesting.
Yeah, so I do have that pre-ordered, so that's supposed to come at the beginning of May. And then at some point in May, there's Resident Evil The Village 2 that I'm going to be doing, and I'm actually going to be playing that on stream, so once that is out. So
yep, people are excited for that one too.
Yeah, so stay tuned for that content from me. We are going to keep playing Elder Scrolls Online at streams at various times, randomly on Twitch, and obviously going over to the channel of Drudak Games, which you saw in the background earlier before I looked into Wreckfest on Game Pass. Well, actually on the store and found it on Game Pass. So with that being said, we're at just over 48 minutes, so we will see you guys. Well, I'll see you in various videos between now and next Wednesday. Otherwise, next time for the both of us on the Drudak Games podcast, that'll be next Wednesday again. So with that being said, we will see you guys then if I don't see you before that. So with that said, see you guys later.
Yep, see you guys.
I was waiting for you to say it. Bye, guys.